this is Honey Boulay, and I hope you're having a wonderful day. Thank you for your support. Thank you for subscribing to the channel. Thank you for your thumbs up, for your comments, and thank you for sharing the videos. Thank you for all you do to support the channel. And yes, we are commanded to love one another, whether we want to or not, or whether we agree with each other or not. So I saw this article about an Asian lawmaker in Texas calling for unity between Asians and Black Americans. And I thought I would share this to see what you think about this. Do Black Americans want unity with Asians? This article comes from the Asian American media, and it says Jing Wu calls for unity between Asian and Black communities. So that sounds like somebody's trying to open up a dialogue between the two communities. Well, let's get into the article. Texas State Representative Jing Wu has sparked widespread discussion with his viral comments emphasizing the interconnected struggles of Asian and Black communities in the fight for civil rights. As reported by MSN, Wu argued that the privileges that many Asian Americans enjoy today would not exist without the sacrifices made by Black Americans during the civil rights movement. And that is something that we already know. We already know that. What they're enjoying now, running around here, fighting against affirmative action, fighting against Black people's progress, while they are enjoying what progress they have at the expense of Black Americans' suffering and sacrifice. And I at least give him credit for acknowledging it. Speaking on a podcast with Pulitzer Prize winning journalist Jose Antonio Vargas, Wu stated, "The day the Latino, African American, Asian, and other communities realize that they share the same oppressor is the day we start winning because we are the majority now." Wu highlighted how stereotypes such as the model minority myth imposed on Asian Americans have been used to pit minority groups against each other. So this is really kind of a smart man. He sees that now. He sees that now because now they are trying to elevate the Indians. So they're going to pit the Indians against the rest of us until they use the Indians up. And after they've gotten every bit of exploitation they can out of the Indians, then they'll toss them aside and pick up somebody else. That's how they operate because white supremacy is only interested in sustaining itself. It's not interested in elevating these other groups of people. And it's sad that they had to learn that the hard way. But Black people have tried to tell them that from the very beginning. But everybody thinks that they can assimilate into whiteness and become white or white like, and that they won't have to experience what Black people have experienced. Mind you, now, these very same people have built themselves up on the backs of Black people, trading with them and trying to get along with them and supporting them. But now they see it, but it might be too late. According to Houston Chronicle, Wu pointed to America's history of systemic oppression against Asian communities, such as the Chinese Exclusion Act, which we've talked about on this channel, and the quotas that followed, as part of the narrative that Asian Americans must remember and confront. He called on Asian Americans to stand in solidarity with Black Americans, rejecting complacency and actively engaging in the fight for equity and justice. Well, see, now that Donald Trump is coming in talking about deporting all of them and exposing them and calling the Chinese spies and things, and probably some other things that are going on with this economy tanking, now they're ready to unify. But again, is this what Black people want? Wu, who represents District 137 in Southwest Houston, an area renowned for its ethnic diversity, has been an outspoken advocate on immigration issues and a critic of policies like Senate Bill 147, which restricts land ownership for legal residents from countries including China. He recently became chair of the Texas House Democratic Caucus. So at the end of the day, he's advocating for his own people. He wants immigration. They want open borders so anybody can just come in. And then the Senate Bill 147 really says that the Chinese can't buy land in some states. So, see, at the end of the day, he's advocating for his people. He's trying to house it in the idea of a coalition between blacks and Latinos. But he really wants people to help him fight for what he wants. And this is what we've been used to, people trying to use us for their advocacy. They get something, we get nothing. So it's just the same old trick. He's just putting a new face to it. But it's always about dragging black people in because we will advocate for things. But there are two things that I don't think black people are in favor of, and that's open border immigration where everybody comes in when they get ready. I don't think black people are on board with that. And I'm not sure that black people have a problem with the government saying if you come from certain countries, you can't buy land in America, especially if you come from a country that's hostile to the United States, as many people think China is. So America has a reason for making laws, but still, he's right about one thing: we have a common oppressor. His comments have resonated widely, going viral on social media platforms focused on Black and Asian audiences. They have also reignited discussions about the shared struggles of minority groups in the United States and the importance of unity in addressing systemic racism. I don't know that black Americans want unity with Asians or any other group because those things have not proven to be beneficial to black Americans. But if there were such a unity or coalition, then black American issues would have to be put on the table right alongside anybody else's. So if you want me to advocate for you for what you want, then I want you to advocate for me for what I want. And the main thing we're talking about now is reparations, and we can't get anybody to get on board with that. So it really wouldn't be beneficial to black Americans to be trying to be in any kind of coalition with these other groups of people because the focus would turn on their interests and not ours. Now that's how I see it. But in the future going forward, and it may take 50 years or more, but people are going to see that the system that we're in really only benefits one group of people, and it really doesn't benefit all of them. But the ones who don't gain anything from it are willing to be a part of it just for the optics of it. Just seeing a white face in important places is enough for some of them, even though they're not living as well as black people or Asian either, or Asian people. So, in order for black people to enter into a coalition with anybody, it would have to be deeply studied, and there would have to be some serious discussion and agreements in writing about how that coalition was going to work. So, I'm hopeful that people will mature and see that it is beneficial for us to be working together as a majority making the rules as opposed to having a handful of bureaucrats or plutocrats or oligarchs making the decisions for all of us because they only work for themselves. They don't work for the group. But let me know what you think about this. Thank you for listening. Give me a thumbs up and have a great day.